Hello and good afternoon. Now, I've come across from Blackfriars and I'm now at Liverpool Street, and this by far has to be the station of the day. What a station this is. So of course, we're going to have a look around, and there's some different services here with the inclusion of Greater Anglia, as we will soon find out. And let's learn about the history, of course. But nonetheless, I hope you enjoy it once again as we go down the line. Right, so Liverpool Street opened in 1874. It comprises of 19 platforms, which is the biggest of the day, and it is managed by Network Rail, so it's another one of those 20 managed by them. It is served by the Underground, Overground, Elizabeth Line, Greater Anglia, the Stansted Express and C2C. That was a mouthful, as you could tell. And in terms of destination, well, you've got Ipswich, Norwich, Cambridge, you've then got Hertford East, Clacton, Southend, many places to access the east. Of course, this is the terminus for that sort of destination. So, again, I wasn't expecting this, that's a dead cert, but I'm fully right in saying it's the station of the day, that is for sure.
After a highly enjoyable day out in London so far, I end my journey just how I started it, at another one of London's terminus stations. But this time, however, the architecture is fitting of how a London station should be.
So Liverpool Street serves as a terminus for the West Anglia Main Line and the Great Eastern Main Line. Of course, Great Anglia services a big giveaway. It was actually given Grade 2 listed status as well in 1975, and it is easy to see why. If you rewind back into wartime, this is where thousands of child refugees came into London for Operation Kinder Transport. Now, you can just imagine these platforms being filled with obviously children who have been separated from their families and are heading on obviously to safety. But you can just imagine for them that is an extremely separative and traumatic time. My granddad himself was a refugee. He was put down into Cornwall. And then obviously came back up and lived the rest of his life happily. But you can just imagine, it's weird, when I've mentioned World War II in previous stations, to how we think of things now, it's a different world. And you can just imagine, we are grateful that we are, albeit there's world issues at the moment, but in terms of the UK and where we are in London, we're not having that sort of thing. So you've got to take it where you can, I guess.
Unfortunately, the station has a sad history of bombings, and this goes all the way back to even World War I, and includes the Bishopgate bombing in 1993 and the 7/7 bombings in 2005.
As a matter of fact, Liverpool Street was built as a dual-level station with provisions for the Underground, which arrived in 1875. Now, in terms of the Underground services, you've got Circle, Hammersmith and City, Metropolitan as well, and the Central Line. I can't forget the Central Line. So, however, if I take the Metropolitan line, for example, and if you fancy a day out in the Chiltern countryside, then you'll remember when I did my Aylesbury to Marylebone journey, the Metropolitan line stretches that far out towards Amersham or Chesham, for example. So, get here, go there, and it's weird, you go from right in the east of London to the Chilterns. That's quite a journey, and to be fair, on the Underground it's not a journey you would expect, but it's a journey you can make.
Also, in 2022, new platforms opened for the Elizabeth Line as part of Crossrail.
Oddly enough as well, there was actually a freight trial which was done in 2020 between here and London Gateway. It was using a bimode class 769, and I haven't actually looked too deep into it, but you can just imagine, using Liverpool Street for freight of some sort. So I can imagine back in the day, a load of parcels and stuff like that would have come through here, obviously from the east. That probably would have been a given, with Red Star parcels, that kind of thing. I would imagine anyway, I'm not too sure. That's more speculation. But, as I said with this station, you can tell just by the look of it, it holds plenty of history. But as well, I would not be surprised if in the future, over the next sort of 10, 20 years, that there are the future developments. So watch this space at Liverpool Street.
This has been a new station for me to come and visit, and I have been very impressed with the grandeur of this station. And even the 710 Adventurer overground units look at home under the roof of London Liverpool Street.
Now, of course, being at Liverpool Street, this is the home of the new Greater Anglia Stadler Class 720s. Now, I have been fortunate enough when I was at Stratford to have a little journey on them to see what they're like, and I was very impressed. Obviously new, they're quite, fresh looking inside, but comfortable, quite quiet to be fair, and I was quite impressed with the information screens on board. So I can see these being quite a good, enthusiast favourite, and they do look very nice as well. I think I may have to get myself a 00 gauge model of these. I might have to.
This has been a great day out spent in London, but now it's time to head back to Euston and begin my journey home. So who knows where I will end up next on Down the Line.
Right then, so that is my time at Liverpool Street up, and actually it is my time in London that is up. So there is some delays going on around, so I was planning to go to Farringdon, but I'll be honest, I want to get home on time with enough to spare in the evening, so I'm going to be selfish and cut Farringdon out, unfortunately. But as we all know, there are plenty of stations in London, so don't worry, I'll be back and we will finish that off, and I'll make sure that's a priority for next time. But nonetheless, I hope you've enjoyed these 4 stations that I have seen, and the overground is about to depart, and I'm about to depart the station as well. But all again, thank you very, very much for watching, as always, and I will see you next time down the line.